Welcome to Teal House Farm. You say it? Good job. It is a Sunday afternoon.
Mommy's gonna plant some flowers.
That's right. Today we're going.
Mom, there's 2 ivy.
My goodness. Okay, today we have been working really hard in getting the ground ready to plant. I love our Dollar Tree. Today we're working really hard at getting everything ready to plant our Dollar Tree pollinator garden.
So we're gonna have movie night with Mommy and Dad.
We're gonna take a flashback here, and I'm gonna show you everything we got done today, and then tomorrow we'll be ready to set these in the ground and show you the final product. Our long-term goal over this last year has been to reduce the amount of grass that needs mowed on our homestead, because mowing grass is a humongous waste of time. So we've been repositioning where the animals are, we've expanded the garden, we've put 2 greenhouses out there, we've planted more berry bushes, just done a lot of things, and the pollinator garden is going to take up a large area of awkward space between the greenhouses and the garden. It won't need to be mowed, but it won't look crazy ugly, and it should help encourage bees to find my garden. Stepping right out of our mudroom, you see there's the 2 greenhouses. There's the garden behind the white fence, that's the main garden, and a small early spring garden there right next to it. And in the back where that trash can is, that's our compost pile. I'm wanting to put the wildflower garden here between the greenhouses and the garden in that awkward space. And I take just a minute here to explain to Ivy what we're going to get done. We're going to plant a wildflower garden, including your flowers. We're going to take these big stones and make a path with them to the garden. And then on this side and this side, we're going to have wildflowers. Okay? If you didn't catch all that, basically the first thing we're going to do is create a big stone path up to the garden so that we don't have to walk through the wildflowers to get to the garden. And then we're going to till up the 2 remaining areas to create the wildflower garden area. So the first step we have is to just mark out where we want that big stone path. I get a little trouble here just trying to figure out what tool to use. This grass is so thick and I can't use the mechanical tiller because I'm not strong enough to set it firmly in the ground safely. And so finally get started here with a shovel and a pickaxe and really get that grass moving. And then it gets a little easier the farther down I get. I want to make sure that the stones are set well into the ground. I need to dig down because I don't want to have them rock on me when I'm stepping on them and then twist an ankle. So we really get that ground pressed down and dug out so that the stones will fit in. I start with stones that are easy to move and that are about the same size. These are huge foundation type landscaping stones that we've dug up all around our property that were probably some sort of structure or shed that was on our property originally and had been knocked down, and they've been collecting in a pile next to my garden, and I'm excited to have a use for them, even if it's a simple use. After we get that path set, Ivy helps me by pressing the dirt in around the rocks, and we get to tilling the first area to get it set for wildflower seeds. We got the first triangle tilled, we got the path set. It took a lot longer than I anticipated, and at this point I'm maybe starting to regret my decision. This is a huge project, and waiting for me tomorrow are some of the biggest boulders that we have. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to move these, but that's a problem for the next day, so we're just gonna sleep on it and think about it and come back tomorrow and figure out what to do. Okay, day 2. JJ is finishing the laundry for me. Good job, JJ. There is the part that we did the other day. And here's the part we have to do today. So we're just gonna get to it. I do not feel like doing this at all today, but it needs to be done. And I know I'll feel better about it once it gets started. It just feels like kind of an overwhelming task. That's a lot of grass. And I have to do it all by hand because I'm not heavy enough to run the tiller, or not strong enough, whichever one that is, to run the electric tiller that we have. And Sam is, he's at school today. He's actually at school, not doing school at home. So it's me, a shovel, and a hand tiller. And that's a good area of ground. So we're just gonna get started And I think I'm just gonna film and give you guys a little voiceover about what's going on at each step, so you'll get to kind of see this done in super fast mode. Let's go. First things first, I realized as I slept on this last night that I never thought about how I would get to the compost pile if there was a big wildflower garden in front of it, so I get to more digging and more boulder moving to get a path from the garden path that also branches off to get me to the compost pile. These rocks are really heavy. I'm just having to kind of roll them into position. And I'm going to have to come back and set these a little better later. But we're just going to get them where I need to go, and then we can get to tilling and hopefully get these flowers planted today. I get them set just in time for the baby to wake up from his nap. So quick break here. We're going to feed him some lunch because he's hungry. I will be honest with you though, he was not too excited about my choice of green beans for lunch, but he better get used to it because they're good for him. I get little man set up with some sunscreen and some entertainment and get back to work. Now I need to get some of this grass actually dug up. It's just too thick to get the tiller in there. If I can just get the edges up, then I can start pulling it up other ways. I'm also finding there's a lot more rocks hiding in here under all the grass than I originally thought. So I separate the smaller ones out for making a border later, just like I have a border over here on the other side. So now we're starting to feel like we're making progress. I still have a lot of work to do, but at least we can start seeing the outlines of where I'm going. I have found the best sequence seems to be to start it with the shovel, finish it with the tiller, and use the shovel to lever out any large boulders or rocks that are left over. Alright, so the weatherman changed the forecast. Wasn't supposed to rain till tomorrow, but now it's going to rain tonight. So we're in a bit of a pinch. We are not going to be able to finish this before it rains. Much bigger project than I intended, but
we have 7 hours still.
Well, he changed it. It's going to rain at 7 o'clock and it's now like 4:30. So what I'm going to do now is just worry about the border of the garden. I'm going to plant T-posts here, here, here. And I'm going to put some climbing beans on them, and they'll create a border with some old cattle panels. That'll give a clear definition of where the garden ends to make it easier to mow, I hope. Also grow a little bit of food and hopefully be kind of a pretty backdrop this spring. So my goal right now, I'm just going to get that all in the ground, and then we're going to have to pick it up before it rains. Alright, got a blister about ready to pop. I did not finish, and that's really disappointing to me. But, so I got my border all set up. There's the border. I got that quadrant tilled, ready for seed. I have a path to the garden that I know is low enough for the door to swing open. I have a path to the compost pile. It still needs set in a little better, but it's marked. I got that quadrant tilled up. I got T-posts set to grow sweet peas on. And so I have this area that still needs tilled. It's just murder on my hands. The grass is so thick and well like seeded in there, but I can't mechanically till it because I can't run the tiller myself. So it's just gonna have to let my hands rest a couple days, and then we'll come out and attack it and get it finished. But it's getting ready to rain here, so we're gonna pick up all the tools and call it a day. But I'm gonna step back and show you. It's kind of telephone poles in the way and kind of a hot mess, but you can see 2 greenhouses, and now this area will be all filled with wildflowers and won't need mowed. And it'll have a border on the back so we know where it ends, make it really easy to mow. And lead right into the garden. And there's my spring garden. You can see the lettuce and spinach starting to pop up. So it'll be a real nice tied-in garden set here, which I'm looking forward to. Just disappointed that I couldn't finish it in these 2 days, but it was definitely a very big project. So stay tuned. I'll be bringing you the part 2. I'll plant all the seeds, and then I'll wait to post that until some of them has kind of sprouted so you can see what the final project looks like. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we will catch you all next time.